Hey, I'm Kathy Roberts. I'm the Tidy Tutor, and this is Motivation Monday. This week for Motivation Monday, we are continuing on with what I started last week on Throw It Out Thursday. We're getting a room cleaned up that is a disaster, and you really don't know where to start, and we're doing it together step by step. It's a room maybe that doesn't have to be done all at one time. You could do it a little bit at a time. Maybe it's a room that's always closed up, that kind of thing, okay? So let's get started. What we did last week was we had the instruction to clean off all the surfaces. So now I'm going to share with you my surface cleaning that I got done. Okay, I used a few things. I used a shoebox so that if I come across jewelry, pictures, pens, little things, I throw it in there. I had a little container like maybe what you'd get Parmesan cheese in, fresh grated Parmesan cheese, or maybe you might get soup in it from a Chinese restaurant. That's for things like for change, you put all your change in there. I also have a couple of containers, like, you could use a laundry basket, or I love produce boxes because they have a lid. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put things that are on the surfaces in these boxes. Well, in my case, it's a little bit different because this isn't my room, although it is a room in my house. I'm helping someone that lives with me to get it together because they're moving out. I can't really organize her stuff. All I can do is put it in boxes and give it to her, and she'll have to straighten it out when the time comes. But in your world, if you're doing this for yourself, you're not going to want to do that. You're going to want to keep things in order. So if you have any papers, any kind of paperwork, all of the papers you're going to want to put in a produce box and put the lid on. Now, if you have papers that are piled, you have different piles of them, then just put a rubber band around them and name the pile and put it in there so that when you're ready to sort through those papers, they're not going to be all jumbled together. You'll have some rhyme or reason to them, okay? So I'm going to do that now, and also I'm going to take anything that belongs out of the room, make a pile for it, and I'm going to take anything that goes into the kitchen, and I'm going to bring that into the kitchen, okay? So I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, now here you can see that what is unconscious clutter. Like, you see all of these receipts? Well, there are things that obviously she just took out of her purse or out of her pocket and put it down on the dresser instead of doing it now, which would have saved her a lot of time because I'm sure she's going to have to go through each receipt. What I do is I have an envelope I keep in my purse, and then this way when I have something that's important, I put it in there. And when I come across any other receipts, I know I can just throw it out. I don't have to think about it. So that's one thing. Another thing is you see all this garbage that's on there. These things could have been thrown away immediately, Instead of putting on the dresser, they could have went in a garbage. Now, if you don't have, a little garbage pail or something in this room, then you need to get one so that this way you have a place to put garbage, all right? A little garbage pail. So that's it. I have the little shoe box here, and now I'm going to throw away the garbage, get those glasses down to the sink. Take those paper things that are hers. I'll put it in a manila envelope and mark it from the dresser. Put it in the box with the other papers that were on here because there was a basket filled with papers that I put in a box for her. And I'll go on to the next surface. Okay, so that's done, and now I'm going to work on these shelves that are behind me. As you can see, one of the shelves fell, and I have that shelf, so I'll replace it and fix it. So now I'll work on the shelves the same way I did the other ones, the other surfaces. Things that have to get packed, papers get put into an envelope, any little things go into a shoebox, change goes into a little container. Ready? See you in a minute. Okay, I'm done with the shelves. Now, there were a lot of books on there. Books are something that you want to pack in a small box. So if you're packing up something, then you want to put it, a tomato box is great for this because books are heavy and it won't make them too heavy to carry. Now, if you're not packing things up and these things belong to you and you're de-junking this room, then really be selective. Remember, there's such a thing as a library. You really don't need to have a ton of books. Keep what you love. Get rid of what you don't, okay? So you want to go through your things very strictly with yourself. You cannot organize clutter. And if you want to live an organized life, you have to minimize the things that you have, okay? So that's what we're doing. So this is done. The shelves are done. I am moving on to the next surface. Okay, so the next surface that I did is completed. I don't know if I'm going to keep this. I'm probably not. It's a sewing machine table that has seen a better day, but maybe it could be refurbished. If it can, I'll keep it. We're working together. So when I am, going off to do it, then you could, shut the recording, go do yours, and then come back, okay? And we're doing it methodically, okay, with a nice method. We're using a shoebox to collect all the little things that have to get, put away somewhere else, but they're small, so you don't want to lose them. We're putting, things that go in another room in the house in a pile so that when we're done, we can disperse those things. We're putting things that go in the garbage, and then anything that goes into the kitchen, we'll put that in a separate area so that we'll take all of those things if you have glasses, spoons, that kind of stuff. Okay? So now I have one more surface to do. I'm going to do that exactly the same way I've done all the other surfaces, and then I'll be back. Okay, so that is the last surface to get cleaned off. You may recognize that piece of furniture from my kitchen. It's actually a, what is it? It's a, it's a wine rack, baker's rack kind of thing. And I thought I could use it in my kitchen to make my kitchen like an office-ish kind of thing, but it made it way too crowded. And what we ended up doing was taking off some of the shelves and hardware to it and put it up, and she used it as a vanity. It worked out really good. Put a mirror back there. I don't think I'm going to keep it, but, it was an idea. So anyway, so that's done. And now what I'm going to work on next is, and this is what I suggest, is anything that's laundry in the room, okay? If you have bedding, take care of that. If you have anything that is like too big for your washer, then either drop it off at the laundromat or go and do, that big comforter or something yourself. And so you just want to get laundry out of here. Now, if you don't have to do the laundry because it's not yours, just put it in a bag and put it aside, okay? So that's it. This is our second part of getting a room cleaned up that is a disaster. So we have worked on all the surfaces, and now we're going to do all of the laundry that's in the room. So I'll see you next week. This is Kathy Roberts, the Tidy Tutor. Thank you so much for showing up. If you aren't part of my peeps, go to my website, thetidytutor.com, put in your name and email address, and you will get hooked up with me.